Well, welcome in. Going to get September games going and sim along and take a look at how things progress as we make our way towards the pennant run. And we've got some great races going on in both leagues for playoff spots. Um, looking at some of the standouts here, I usually have it on Snapshot. Let's take a look at leaders here. I don't think we normally see that. Where's the other one I had here? Team. Oh yeah, team statistics. Taking a look at runs per game, batting, some cool things here. I'm trying to think. Team batting, what's standing out? Team pitching. Oh, high player stats. Let's take a look at that. High for the league. Let's take a little bit of look. Nobody's had more than 2 home runs. Probably a ton of people have had that. Game score. If anybody doesn't know what game score is, that's the factor to determine who the player of the game is. So probably like best game, stats all rolled up. Stolen base. Otani's had 3 stolen bases. Errors. Caminiti. Oh, except few of them have had 3 in a game. I never really go on the front page and play around with this, so just thought I'd take a look at some of the things standing out. Bunch of players with 5 hits. High team. Union Stewards, and just so you can say, on back-to-back days, set the record for most runs in a game. 19, and they did it 2 games in a row. That's pretty unusual. Low hits for 2 teams. There's a game with only 2. Oh, I can go right to that game. 1 hit each. Boy, that was a boring ass game. So anyway, if you ever mess with it, there's some cool things to go look at here. Most home runs in the team. So we've had only 6, 5 errors. So anyway, fun stuff going on here. Take it back to the snapshot. Welcome in, Mark. Mark, the manager of Beantown, who is only a half game out of first. God only knows what kind of drama we're in store for. That suck it up division has 4 teams all competing for playoff spots, but also in contention for the bye, winning the division. For anybody that doesn't know, if you win your division, you get a bye, and then the second place team has the benefit of home field advantage against the third. So be some fun stuff there. Let me double check, see if I've got any more manager files. I think everybody that had any changes reached out to me today and we got those done. I know MV's got tricks up his sleeve. I know Midlife does. Um, and Mike. So we'll take it game by game, go through, take a look at some of the box scores here. My goal is to get us down around the last week of the season, let people focus on that last week. I know in our schedule, let's see what we got here. We have we actually finish on the first. There'll be some interesting things here, but I'll get us down there with about a week to go and then post the final, let people take a look at it, make some adjustments. We'll take a look and see who's in the hunt, and I'm sure there'll be some adjustments made by some of the managers based on where their team's at. So let's fire this baby up. Is David? Let's fucking go. As wrong playoff game here. Schedule league game. Let's get to the game, see what we got in store. So September 1st, let's kick it off. What do we have? We have Real and Carolina. Real competing with St. Louis for lottery slots down here. St. Louis in the bottom, but they have been on an 8-2. Let me do that. It's my new favorite thing I'm doing here. Who's hot and who's not? Let's take a look. Coming out of the end in the global division, who's hot? Crystal Lake is. They're 7-3 here. St. Louis 8-2. As bad as they are, they've rattled off 8 out of 10 here, won 4 in a row. Over No More Tears, Lehigh's doing well. They've been 9-1. Vegas passed somebody. I think Vegas was in third. They leaped over the Union Stewards. The Union Stewards have since made some personnel changes as far as their rotation, so we'll see. They were 1-9. Ouch. Vegas was 8-2 in that run. So that's who's hot and who's not. Let's get right into it. Schedule league games. So here's on the first, Real at Carolina. Carolina, a 5-4 winner. Manchester and Washington. Oh, it's a big one. Manchester now 3.5 back. They beat Washington. Take a look at the box, see what happened here. The pitching, what happened? Oh, Robin Roberts with a big win. Very nice. Union Stewards and Lancaster, both of them. Union Stewards has third place locked up. I guess Lancaster technically not out of it. And Lancaster gets a win. Fingers in relief, 5-0. And Lehigh at San Francisco, and San Francisco, Lefty Grove with the win. On to the second. Philadelphia and Gary. Gary just nips Philadelphia. Mays with the win. Carolina, another win as they beat Real. Carolina has a hell of a pitching staff. If people haven't noticed, I mean, I think it's the best relievers and maybe second best starting pitching to Washington this season. Washington to Manchester. Washington returns the favor as they beat each other up here. Beantown and Crystal Lake. 4-3, Crystal Lake. Things get tighter over there. Lehigh on the road, a shutout for Smoky Joe. Northwest, cellar dwellers off and running. And the one guy I got to say, Lefty Gomez, he's only 8-16, but he has a hell of a season. Gets a win here, 4-1. Chicago and St. Louis. Chicago, a 4-3 win. And Union Stewards, they get Lancaster as they trade wins there. So on to the third, coming out of Labor Day. Or maybe Labor Day was this month. Yeah, Labor Day would have been the 7th. So we're getting close to the Jerry Lewis telethon here on the 6th. Favorite event. Chicago, Buckshot moved his franchise to Chicago and they beat St. Louis 5-0. Philadelphia and Gary. Philly. Bill Foster, a big win. Let's take a look at this. Couple teams here that have some Negro League players. See how they stand out. We've got Turkey Stearns on here, Mule Suttles. I'm sure we'll see them in the future. Gary's got Josh Gibson on this one, but not a lot of offense as the pitchers. Gaylord Perry and Foster go the distance. Both pitch good games. Washington at Manchester. Oh, a 10-inning win for Manchester. Is Manchester coming back here with a run? Crystal Lake and Beantown. I think we got another one on the 4th. I'm only going to play a couple games today, but this is going to be one I play. I'm going to play Crystal Lake at Beantown. Union Stewards and Lancaster. Union Stewards, a 5-3 winner. Lehigh gets by San Francisco and Vegas with a 1-0 shutout. Pete Alexander over Northwest. So let's play one. I'll probably play 2 games during this session. Let's see what we got. Dun, dun, dun. Here we go.
Pitching for Beantown, number 22, Ali Reynolds.
Play ball!
Yeah, let me do this one. Let me check that one for you, midlife. Oh, yeah, it is weird. Let me do that one. Got to load one versus right. Let me make the switches that we thought we had. Where we go. It's funny. When I sent you the screenshots, I thought we had that figured out. Let's go back. Scheduled game. What? Let's play it.
Pitching for Beantown, number 22,
Play
Ali
ball.
Reynolds.
Ball four.
Henderson walked.
Pay.
Hmm.
Henderson stole second.
If anybody can remember, I was looking at Billy Hamilton. Oh boy, we got a long ball here.
Bonds hit a 2-run homer down the right field line, 269 feet, Crystal Lake 2 Beantown 0.
It looks like Billy Hamilton is going to get over 100 stolen bases this year, but does anybody know? I don't know the answer to this. What the record is for a player in our league, like the most stolen bases in the season? Have we had somebody go over 100? I don't know.
Hargrove line to second, 1 out.
Strike three.
Fox struck out, 2 out.
Ball four. Take your base.
Piazza walked. Ventura grounded to first, 3 out. Pitching for Crystal Lake, Randy Johnson. Raines lined a single to left. Frisch bunted out to the pitcher, Raines to second, sacrifice, 1 out. Doby struck out, 2 out.
Four.
Thomas walked.
Strike three.
Alvarez struck out, 3 out.
Strike three.
Griffey Jr. struck out, 1 out. Alfonso singled to center. Ordonez grounded to the pitcher, Alfonso to second, 2 out. Henderson fly to deep left center, 3 out. Rosen lined a single between third and short.
Pay.
Singleton singled on the infield, Rosen to second.
Play on words. Singleton singles.
Carter fly to deep left center, 1 out. Jackson fly down the left field line, 2 out. Raines grounded to short, 3 out. Bonds grounded to second, 1 out.
Strike three.
Hargrove struck out, 2 out.
Strike three.
Fox struck out, 3 out. Frisch grounded to third, 1 out. Doby grounded to third, 2 out. Thomas popped to third, 3 out. Piazza grounded to first, 1 out. Ventura fly to shallow right center, 2 out.
Strike three.
Griffey Jr. struck out, 3 out. Alvarez fly to shallow right, 1 out.
Strike three.
Rosen struck out, 2 out.
Ball four. Take your base.
Singleton walked. Wild pitch, Singleton to second.
Ball four.
Carter walked. Jackson line to short, 3 out.
Strike three.
Alfonso struck out, 1 out. Ordonez grounded to third, 2 out. Henderson grounded a single between third and short. Henderson stole second. Bonds intentionally walked.
Afraid of Bonds.
Hargrove grounded to second, forcing Bonds at second, 3 out. Raines lined a single between first and second. Raines stole second. Frisch fly to deep left center, Raines out at third,
greedy, gets
2
thrown
out.
Ball.
Doby walked. Doby stole second. Thomas grounded to short, 3 out.
Ball 4.
Fox walked. Piazza grounded to short, forcing Fox at second, 1 out. Ventura lined a single to center, Piazza to second. Griffey Jr. fly to deep right center, 2 out.
Strike 3.
Alfonso struck out, 3 out. Alvarez grounded a single between first and second.
Powerball. Strike 3.
Rosen struck out, 1 out. Singleton popped to short, 2 out. Carter lined a single up the middle, Alvarez to third.
Uh-oh. I think we're tied up.
Jackson doubled off the wall in left, Alvarez scored, Carter scored, Crystal Lake 2 Beantown 2. Raines struck out, 3 out. Ordonez grounded to third, 1 out.
Strike 3.
Henderson struck out, 2 out.
Ball 4.
Bonds walked.
Ball 4.
Hargrove walked, Bonds to second.
Oh, big hit from Jimmy Fox.
Fox hit a 3-run homer to left, 295 feet, Crystal Lake 5 Beantown 2. Pitching for Beantown, Bill Simas. Piazza grounded to short, 3 out.
There's a pitcher I've never heard of in my life, Bill Simas.
Ball 4. Take your base.
Frisch walked.
Wow, Doby, he's been up there in the leaders and homers this year.
Doby hit a 2-run homer down the right field line, 283 feet, Crystal Lake 5 Beantown 4. Pitching for Crystal Lake, Mike Jackson. Thomas grounded to third, 1 out. Alvarez lined a single up the middle. Rosen singled to left center, Alvarez to third,
Strike 3.
Rosen to second.
You're out.
Singleton struck out, 2 out. Carter popped to the catcher, 3 out. Ventura lined a single to right center. Griffey Jr. fly to deep right, 1 out. Pitching for Beantown, Dyer, Miller. Alfonso grounded to second, safe on an error, Ventura to second. Ordonez struck out, 2 out. Henderson grounded a double down the first baseline, Ventura scored, Alfonso scored, Crystal Lake 7 Beantown 4. Bonds grounded to first, 3 out. Pitching for Crystal Lake, number 48, Emmanuel, Clace. Jackson grounded to short, 1 out. Raines bunted to third, 2 out. Frisch grounded to short, 3 out. Bell flied very deep down the left field line, 1 out. Pitching for Beantown, Sean, low. Fox grounded a single between first and second. Piazza doubled off the wall in left, Fox scored, Crystal Lake 8 Beantown 4. Ventura fly to deep right center, 2 out.
Ball four.
Griffey Jr. walked.
Strike three.
Alfonso struck out, 3 out. Doby fly to deep right, 1 out. Thomas fly to deep left, 2 out.
And Crystal Lake comes out with a key win interdivision game here. Well, league division, whatever we're calling these things. Let's go on to the fourth. So here we go. We got Vegas on the road at Gary. Catfish Hunter gets a win. Lehigh headed in to face the Union Stewards, and Spud Chandler gets a 1-0 shutout. Beantown gets a win. Crystal Lake's on fire right now. They're closing the gap here as they beat Chicago 11-2. Lancaster a winner. Oh, a doubleheader today. Vegas at Gary, and Satchel Paige beats Andy Messersmith. Philly on the road, shutout of Northwest, and Carolina beats Real. So as we move on to the fifth, things are even tighter in the Suck It Up that we've got all four teams within 3.5 games now. Vegas and Union Stewards tied for that coveted second place home field advantage over there. Lehigh on the road, and they get one over on the Union Stewards. Beantown gets a win. Crystal Lake is on fire right now. Lancaster a winner, and Philadelphia in 12 innings gets upended by Northwest. On to the sixth. Washington beats Carolina. Vegas heads into Philadelphia. Philadelphia a 9-4 winner. Union Stewards 5-4. Lehigh at home against Lancaster. Bagwell 36 home runs now. Chicago beats Beantown. So what does that mean? Washington now with that 1-game lead. And boy, Crystal Lake's putting up some runs. Crystal Lake 14-2. Manchester shuts out Real 11-0. And Northwest on a roll beats Gary. Lancaster heads into Lehigh. Lancaster beats them. Rudy Sayanez with the win. Chicago on the road at Beantown. Beantown takes a hit from Chicago. Crystal Lake shuts out St. Louis. Randy Johnson with the big win. Manchester gets upended. They're looking to take advantage of those games against Real and St. Louis. Real and St. Louis playing the spoiler. Gary on the road at Northwest, and they are shut down. Washington an 8-2 winner. Vegas on the road at Philly. Philly with the key matchup. Pete Alexander loses to Benton. And Union Stewards a 4-3 winner. Here's the eighth. Carolina beats Washington. That's going to make the competitors happy. Let's take a look. Gary on the road at Philadelphia. Philadelphia, a 14-4 winner. Philadelphia looks like they're doing pretty good here recently. Chicago, a 6-2 winner over St. Louis. And Beantown, this time, gets Crystal Lake back. Vegas heads into the Northwest Territory. And the Northwest Territory, what the heck's going on here? Northwest is on fire. So let's take a look here a little over a week into it. Take a look at the standings. What do we got? Who's hot? Who's not? Chicago. Well, Crystal Lake's hot. They're 8-2 in their last 10. Chicago's 6-4. They've won 3. St. Louis has lost 7. They're back to be what we expect them to be. Northwest, bad a team as they are, 7-3. Philly make a little bit of a comeback, and Vegas and Gary both at 3-7. Union Stewards 5-5. So keep a watch on some of these streaks. Let's head in to the ninth. This is the right day, isn't it? I missed a day in hockey and had to go back and deal with it. Here we go. On the ninth, Manchester at Washington. And a Manchester shutout makes everybody happy over there except Washington, I think. Lancaster on the road. Union Stewards. Koufax with a big win. San Francisco at Lehigh. Lehigh 3-1. Chicago shuts out St. Louis isn't scoring many runs right now. Carolina beats Real. Vegas, a one-run game here. What the hell's going on with Northwest? Mesnersmith, Wilhelm blows a save, and oh my God, what happened here? Hampton only makes it one inning. Must have got hurt. I don't know what happened there. Anyway, Northwest on a tear. Gary on the road at Philadelphia, and Gary beats Philadelphia. Catfish Hunter gets his 12th win. On to the 10th we go. Manchester and Washington, 6-5 win. Take a look at Washington. What happened? This one went right down to the ninth inning. McDonald for Washington goes the distance. Manchester using that funky rotation of relief pitchers did not work that game, at least. Gary and Philadelphia again. Philadelphia with the win. So Philadelphia hanging in there. Union Stewards a 10-2 win. Lehigh 4-3 over San Fran. St. Louis up in Chicago. Beantown 7-1 over Crystal Lake. Carolina a winner, and Vegas on the and Northwest. What the hell's going on with Northwest now? Oh, we got one more day here. The hell Northwest is doing to people. Beantown, Crystal Lake. Bam! Beantown gets it. Beantown's now tied for first with Washington. Vegas finally gives Northwest the loss that we all expect them to have. Wilhelm gets the win in this one. Carolina at St. Louis. St. Louis loses. And San Fran at Lehigh, a one-run victory. So on to the 12th. What do we have cooking? Again, all those teams within 4 games over there. It's crazy. Union Stewards back in second. Vegas sitting in third. Let's see what happens here. Gary on the road. Big win by Lehigh. A lot of runs. Washington, a big winner. Northwest, this Lefty Gomez at Northwest is just spanking people lately. Carolina, a winner. Philly beats the Stewards. Manchester, a winner. Crystal Lake, a winner. And Vegas on the road at Lancaster pulls out a win. And here we go to the 13th. Gary over Lehigh. Beantown, a winner. Manchester, a winner. Crystal Lake just gets by Real. San Francisco piling it on Northwest. Carolina beats St. Louis. Philly and Union Stewards, a battle back and forth. Union Stewards get this one, and a lot of close games there. A 4-3 win by Lancaster. When we get to the through the 14th, we'll take a look at who's hot, who's not. Gary gets beat. Manchester and Beantown. Beantown with the win puts them in sole possession of first place, only a half game up. Crystal Lake over Carolina. Vegas on the road, and they get a win. Northwest, a 1-run loss. Real and Washington at Chicago, and Washington loses. So let's take a look at who's hot and who's not. Last 10 streaks. Union Stewards 8-2, the best team in the last 10. Worst team, St. Louis 1-9. 4-game losing streak and a 3-game winning streak by Crystal Lake. So things are still tight over in the Suck It Up division. Let's get back to baseball. Real, the battle of who's going to get the most lottery picks. I think St. Louis probably has that wrapped up from looking at the schedule. Vegas on the road at Lehigh. Dolph Luke with the win. Manchester beats Beantown. Manchester only 3 back of first place. Philadelphia a winner. Northwest. This Northwest team, this computer run team, is a spoiler for sure. Washington 6-3. Crystal Lake, ooh, a big loss right there. And Lancaster beats Gary. 16th, battle of last place. Real wins the game. Northwest, Northwest smashing the Union Stewards. That is crazy. Smoky Joe Wood. It's a big win for him. Manchester and Beantown, a 9-3 win. Washington 4-3 over Chicago. Crystal Lake looking to get a win. They do. Lancaster beats Gary, and Philly over San Fran. So as we go on the 17th, it's still, man, it's getting tighter all the time. 3 games separate that suck it up division. This is going to go down to the last week. Could be some really good games there that factor in. No More Tears still pretty much looks Lehigh, Union Stewards, and Vegas with that in the playoff spot. So on to the 17th. Manchester, St. Louis, 3-0 win. Valenzuela gets a win, beats Clemens. This is pretty bad. 5-20. I don't think Clue cares. Union Stewards, 6-1 winner. Lehigh over Philly. Beantown, a 9-8 winner. Chicago, a winner. Washington shuts out Crystal Lake, stays at the top, and Lancaster just gets by Northwest. Vegas on the road now at San Fran, and San Fran with the win. Philly and Lehigh. Philly, Bill Foster gets a key win, beats Cy Young. Oh, Cy Young's kind of my spot starter. He's scary. Real 6-4. Vegas, Joe McGinnity 9-5 over San Fran. Manchester a win. Washington a 4-0 winner. Lancaster over Northwest. Carolina winner, and Gary a big win over the Union Stewards. 19th, here we come. Now I got to face this team. Ooh, 2-1, just gets by Northwest. They are going to be the spoiler for someone. Carolina shuts out Beantown, puts Beantown 2.5 back. Chicago 6-2 over Real. Manchester and Crystal Lake, it's getting scary. Manchester with a big win. Gary with the win over San Fran. Washington loses to St. Louis. Vegas and the Union Stewards. Bob Forsch. Take a look at this box. This is the guy that is now replacing, what's his name? It's escaping me here, the guy's name. Oh, Clayton Kershaw for Mike. Take a look at the pitching. Bob Force pitches it. Oh, well, gave up 7 earned runs. It wasn't that great of a game. But anyway, big win. Philly at Lancaster. Philly squeaks by Lancaster 1 run. On to the, make sure I got all those things. As we approach the next few days here, then I'm going to shut it down. Let's take a look at what we've got. Still tight in the suck it up division. Crazy. Vegas on the road, Union Steward, Sandy Koufax with the win. Northwest, ooh, 17 innings it takes to get by Northwest by a run. Carolina a winner. Chicago a winner. Manchester at Crystal Lake, and Manchester with a win. Crystal Lake's fallen 4.5 back now. Gary a winner. Washington a winner, and Philly a winner. So Philly and Lancaster now just 2.5 out of a playoff spot. They've kind of come back a little bit. Crystal Lake falls out to 5 out. Northwest at Lehigh. Northwest clobbers Lehigh. Candelaria with the win. Beantown gets a win. Here's Philadelphia. They can go on the road at Lancaster and lose. Gary loses. Washington a winner and Chicago a winner. So on to the 22nd we go. Things are getting tight. Crystal Lake a 5-1 winner. Stewart's a winner. Gary beats the Northwest and Chicago 2-1 over Beantown. Who's hot? Who is not? Manchester has rattled off 6 wins in a row. Wow. When it counts, Manchester is making their move here. 23rd it is. I think we've got games. Well, let me look at this backwards and see like who our last series is. So, oh, this will be good. Philly and Vegas potentially. Um, okay, September 30th. Vegas and Philly, Crystal Lake, 28. Yeah, we may take it right up to the last one. Where the hell are we? 22nd. All right, let's look at the 20th. I always got to make sure I play all these. 23rd. Crystal Lake and St. Louis. Crystal Lake wins. Northwest shuts out Gary. This Northwest team's almost going to hit 60 wins. It's pretty crazy. San Fran at Union Stewards. 10-4. Manchester loses to Real. That's got to hurt them as they're looking to try to get the top spot. Beantown a winner. Lehigh on the road. Lancaster beats them. And Vegas in 13 innings in a key matchup over Philly. Washington 7-0. On to the 24th. Carolina, Washington. Washington a win puts them 4 up. So as Washington kind of gets in the driver's seat, now it's the battle between 3 teams here to see if they can get in. Crystal Lake 6-0. Northwest over Gary. San Fran a winner. Manchester hanging in there. Beantown hanging in there. Lehigh beats Lancaster, and Vegas, another close one against Philly. Philly was getting close, but now Vegas has distanced themselves a little bit here. Real and Carolina. Real a winner. Washington 7-5. Lancaster 3-2. Gary a winner. Beantown. Philadelphia a win. Trout with the win there. Crystal Lake and St. Louis and over St. Louis and San Francisco with the win. So let's see who's hot or not. What do we got? We have technically, I guess some people are still in it. No more tears as we get to the last of it. We have Washington Beantown and Crystal Lake. That was probably your chance. But, we could always take one more day and see before we drop it and leave the last 5 games. Let's take a look. What do we get? Washington and Manchester. Oh, Washington. I think they're going to get this one sewn up with the 4-game lead over there. St. Louis over Beantown. Stewards get a win. Lehigh with a win. Gary has to go on the road, and they beat Vegas. Carolina 3-1 winner. Northwest, that kills you there midlife. I know you're looking at this Northwest team has been a freaking spoiler over here in the division, winning some games. And 3-2, Crystal Lake. Manchester at Carolina. Yes, Slash is like, make it in, dude. 4-3. Wow. Lehigh, 10 inning affair. Beantown, 2-1. Lancaster, a winner. Real, beating teams when they don't want to be beat. That's kind of the name of the game. Satchel Paige, man, he's on fire. I don't know what Wilson that is. Has hit 40 home runs, whatever Wilson it is. I don't even know. And Philly with the win. It's a key win. So let's roll on in here and take a look. Cause we'll sneak it. We're gonna kill it with fly. We're gonna kill it with fire, guys. Let's just do it. Get on to the postseason. Manchester at Carolina. Big win for Manchester. Stewards lose by 1 run. Beantown, a big winner over St. Louis. Lancaster wins big. Washington, I think Washington's pretty much probably got that thing locked up, right? Gaylord Perry, Gary, is Gary out of it? No. Hold on a second here. What do we got going on over in this one? Crystal Lake 2, and let's see this shit. Philadelphia just gets by Northwest. Who's hot? Who's not? What's going on? Um, I think Washington's probably. Oh, they clinched. They've got the X. So Washington and Lehigh have clinched. Now it's a battle of who's getting in there. Manchester and Crystal Lake trying to chase Beantown down. Union Stewards and Lancaster has come back from the dead. Um, and they're tied here. Who's back? And Gary and Philadelphia, technically a 1, 2, 3, 4 team race. 5? Interesting. Um, let's see what we got. St. Louis at Crystal Lake / sending you vibes. It always helps / if you're playing the weak team. We were teasing David and Clue that they'll probably spoil somebody's chance, but big win by Fergie Jenkins to stay alive in it. San Fran beats Lancaster. That hurts Lancaster. Washington a winner. Gary beats Northwest. Vegas at Philly and Philadelphia with the win. Benton. Oh, you got a double header here, / So let's hit this one. Crystal Lake gets 2 wins. So we got 2 days left in the season. Crystal Lake and Manchester tied, and 3 teams tied for the last playoff spot. That's unbelievable with 2 days to go. Lancaster on the road. Lehigh with a 1-0 win. Beantown 3-2. Crystal Lake gets the win they need. Union Stewards loses. I don't think that matters to them. Manchester gets a win. They need that. So now them and Crystal Lake are dead tied. Gary shuts out Northwest. And Philadelphia blanks Vegas with an 8-0 shutout by Trout. So we now move on to the last day of the season. Mm, mm-mm. And Philadelphia, 6-0 shutout behind Bridges. Lancaster gets a win. I don't know if that what that does to them. We might have a freaking go to the tiebreaker card system or whatever we have in the league or playing. I don't have to get Clue involved. Beantown a winner. So now Beantown looks like they've got that home field advantage, I think, locked up. Crystal Lake wins, they're 4 game out. That means Manchester could tie Crystal Lake. There could be a play-in game for that one. What a freaking crazy September. San Fran beats Union Stewards. That one doesn't matter. Manchester gets the win. So we're going to have a play-in, a 1 game play-in between Manchester and Crystal Lake. We have not had that in several seasons. And Northwest beats Gary. So that, oh my God. I don't know how we're going to do this one. I have no idea what we do with the 3 place tie. Wow. Um, wow. I'm gonna have to ask Clue about that one on the tiebreakers, but finishing the season, unbelievable here. Gary goes 7-3. Philly climbs in up here in the top. Look at this. Look at Crystal Lake. They go and look at these teams up here. 8-2, 8-2, 7-3, 9-1 for all those teams that are either in the playoffs or vying for it. That's a hell of a strong finish by all of those teams. So let me put, I'm going to take a picture of this and see if Clue, I'm going to have to go, what the hell do we do? Where do I post this at, by the way? I'm going to call it, what a finish. I'm going to post that in announcements and then I'll post it in standings. We might have to go figure out head to head and all that shit, but wow. But I know definitely with Manchester and Crystal Lake, we can do a head to head play in game. The other ones, I'm not sure how that factors in, but damn. We we've got that in both sides, and we knew it was a possibility something might happen, but what the hell is going on? Crazy. That's all I got to say is wow. Um, go to baseball. Let me post this over there. Uh, the hell is our standings? Oh, there it is. Is that it? Yep, that's it. Okay. Well, what was my record? You know what's funny is I don't think we can take a look. I don't, Clue and I were talking today that we think the game, it would be nice if on this screen you could see like the team's record month by month. I don't think there's an easy way, but that'd be a cool thing to add here. So you can kind of see in the season. But I know we could look at your boxes. Oh, wow. Look at this. So September, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You lost 9 games in September. That's a pretty good one. I don't know how many wins are there, but you finished pretty strong. Well, you lost to Lancaster and 2 to Vegas, and then you turned it around the last 5 to get in there. So pretty crazy. Cool. Well, I'll zip this up and post it, and then we'll figure out. Clue. What the hell? What do we do with these? Look at this crap. We got 1, 2, 3 teams all tied. I know Manchester and Crystal Lake can do a 1 game play in, but what do we do in the case of these three? Wow. Yeah, 18-9. That's a pretty good fit. What's interesting, midlife, is Clue this morning had some kind of chart he was running that had all of the chances, like if everybody went, he could fill in like if everybody needed this kind of record to catch who or whatever, but um, looked like Washington had a pretty good chance to hold on, which they did. Beantown locks down home field, and I thought, man, it's going to be between Manchester and Crystal Lake, and it's still not over between those two. So more to come. Oh, clues on it. So Yeah, more to come. And just for anybody else that's interested in the golf league or whatever, I'll be back on later this evening, probably around 9 Eastern time, to kick off the golf league, talk about it, and then get like the first tournament out of the way. I know Buckshot's been clamoring about that.